Yeah, we back with another episode of The Twisted Tea, where we come to bring you news with a twist. And I was just sitting here watching the TMZ, the downfall of Diddy. That's right. And you know, it's been all types of stuff going on. So I said, why don't we break it down with you? You know, why not, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead, hit the buttons, share the screen with you. You know it's gonna like go black. So give it a second while it does all of that, and we're gonna start watching that shit uh and seeing what's actually going on out here, right?
Going on. I've known the whole time.
I've seen Puff have anger spazzes on producers, females.
Yeah.
I'm a savage. Whatever I want to put you get. Whatever I want, I have to get.
Diddy's
So,
alleged bad behavior went unchecked
He ain't been
for
talking.
years.
There have always been whispers and rumblings about Diddy.
His famous friends are heading for the hills.
They have 250 cameras they took out his house. A lot of people might be running from that tape.
I don't think it's only celebrities going to be shook. He had politicians in there. He had princes in there. He also had a couple of preachers in there.
People may fear that somehow he makes it out of this.
What did they fear?
A flat tire, being murdered. I don't know.
But Suge Knight, Diddy's archenemy, shockingly is
Hold on, people. Listen. His arch enemy sticking up for him because his arch enemy, Suge Knight, he done been through some stuff with them, right? Them people behind the scenes, like, Suge knows what's been going on all these years throughout the times, okay? Don't let that other lady fool you. Now, going back on some of the stuff that they just said, whew, okay? Whew.
sad over Diddy's undoing.
I'm not the type of guy to cheer for people's downfall.
No.
And if somebody get killed or something happens, I'm not gonna pop a champagne bottle.
I've been seeing this dude shake back from some stuff, right? So I'm not gonna count him out.
TMZ presents the downfall of Diddy.
You know what I'm saying? I told y'all, look, Stevie J, that's Diddy's guy, Stevie J, okay? Listen, man, let's get into this, okay? Look, we're not gonna sit here and do the whole thing, but we're gonna flip and skim.
It was such a nice day. I'm like, let me go sit outside on the bench for a little while. Heard a big boom. And then I heard like like the sounds of like armored vehicles coming, approaching. Guns up and aimed. Get up, get on the fucking ground. Drop your fucking phone. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I'm here by myself.
Oh, really?
You know, I didn't ask too many questions. I've seen quite a lot of things, but none with the excessive force of this right here.
Out a little using.
Do you know him as Diddy for?
They didn't do this like this to Epstein, right?
Raids a gross overuse of military.
Do it to Epstein.
Security as
Gate initially, the long guns and a multitude of people. As you'll see, they'll zoom out a little bit just to see the amount of force they are using.
Do you know him as Diddy, formerly Puff?
They didn't do this like this to Epstein, right?
Diddy's lawyer called the raids a gross overuse of military level force and a witch hunt. He said Mr. Colmes is innocent and will continue to fight every single day to clear his name.
I don't know what they're looking for or where they're trying to reach.
Overzealous and deplorable.
It's hard
With multiple people at them.
to serious.
Here's what I will say about the raids, okay? They went in there and they were like, oh, basically, they felt like the way they went in was just because of what they were going for, how they thought that he had.
Using this type of force was not inappropriate in any way, shape, or form.
a federal judge had determined there was evidence, significant evidence, Diddy was involved in sex trafficking, sexual assault, and soliciting and distributing illegal narcotics and firearms. And that's why the search warrants were signed.
This is a massive investigation. The idea that the feds have taken up this investigation in the first place indicates that it's remarkably serious.
Aubrey O'Day, a member of Danity Kane and star of Making the Band, has been the lone voice for years, saying Diddy.
You likely would be reasonable in being scared.
What did they fear?
Anything you possibly could, Harvey. A flat tire, being murdered. I don't know. There's a lot of things people fear.
People don't like to go after a powerful person unless they're sure they will be victorious. Because if you go after a powerful person and it doesn't work out, as Omar from The Wire said, you come for the king, you best not miss. And people don't want to miss, because if you miss, that means you're shut out of the music industry. You might be shut out of Hollywood. You might lose opportunities. And based on some rumors, your car might blow up in your driveway.
Together, guys?
In order to get the warrants, the feds
public domain.
I know what's gone on.
really?
A whole lot of people do, Harvey.
So she says she knows what's going on, Harvey. She been in this. She been there. She's seen these things. Let's not act like this stuff doesn't go on. And I think she says that because, she may know what's going on. She may have a good idea on the things that have taken place. And she probably did have some.
Diddy wasn't home when the raids went down. He was at a small Miami airport where he was set to leave for a vacation. He was questioned briefly by authorities and released.
Yeah.
TMZ captured these images of Diddy pacing nervously after the encounter.
I guess you wonder what's going to happen next, Diddy. I know.
Yeah.
Diddy wasn't arrested that day, but a member of his entourage was. 25-year-old Brendan Poole is now charged with possession of cocaine and marijuana candy.
What's up, Buff? How you doing?
I have my different things.
In federal court here in New York.
Cassie describing the music mogul as a vicious, cruel, and controlling man, saying she was trapped and held down by Colmes.
Cassie Ventura was Diddy's on and off again girlfriend for a decade. And her allegations turned Diddy's world upside down.
Going on around them.
And I met her. That's what kind of made me really fall in love.
How unusual is it?
Cassie was a 19-year-old singer when Diddy signed her to his Bad Boy record label short.
See, that was just the start of his, poop storm. And as you'll hear, I think that there was definitely a lot of things that Cassie said that was probably most likely true. Okay. Obviously some of it was elaborated on. Now, we did see the video of what happened with her. So, we saw how she was treated. We've seen how she was treated. With that being said, we're not going to spend much time on Cassie stuff because we know what it is, but we know that this broke open the door for a lot of things.
Shortly after they met.
I wanted everybody to meet Cassie. When I saw her and I met her, that's what made me really fall in love with the project, because I saw something more than just records.
Cassie's self-titled album was released in
She says in 2012, Diddy became enraged when he heard about a brief relationship she had with rapper Kid Cudi during a rough patch with Diddy. Diddy threatened to blow up Kid Cudi's car. Kid Cudi confirmed his car had been blown.
Ventura up in a hotel for days to heal.
Cassie described one violent incident where Diddy stomped on her face repeatedly, causing her to bleed profusely. She says Diddy's head of security tried to step in, but he was unsuccessful.
From wild sex parties to sex workers, the allegations against this music mogul are shocking.
At one point also,
because of the things that we've seen, most people, of course, they believe it. We're like, all right, well, it had to have happened. It had to have happened. But with that being said, that isn't what he's being charged for in court.
She said that he would force her to interact sexually with escorts and he would watch himself and pleasure himself while watching her. They were called freak offs. Very interesting term.
Witness that type of behavior. I don't know what a man do in his bedroom or nothing like that. They was rocking together. From what I know. All I know is they both was rock stars, living their best life in a relationship.
Cassie claims she only participated in those freak-off encounters because she was afraid she'd be beaten if she refused. Cassie also claimed near the end of their relationship, Diddy forced his way into her home and raped her.
That is what she said. That is what she said. That's not cool.
That's being alleged. Now people believe it.
One of the biggest legal blunders of all time was when Cassie threatened to...
Is sick. I hope Cassie gets the justice that she deserves.
Good chance that none of this controversy is happening. There's a good chance that other people wouldn't have their own lawsuits pile on. There's a good chance law enforcement wouldn't have had their radars activated by all the allegations of illegal activity. There's a chance that Diddy would just be living his normal billionaire life right now.
What more do I have to do, man? Look at my hat, man. Look at my hat. Look how I show up on the Amalfi Coast, B.
It looked like she put so much information out into the streets that embarrassed you that you didn't want any more of it to come out. And because of that, Diddy looks more guilty than he did had he just settled behind closed doors from the beginning.
If she said that. So I think I just heard him say if he had settled behind closed doors, then it would have been much better for Diddy because none of this would have came out. And you know what? I have to agree with him. It would have been messy because then no one would have known about it. But it would have been the right thing to do on Diddy's part in order to avoid the storm he's sitting in right now.
Foundation.
Suddenly, it was like everyone was just coming out of the woodwork.
I was sick of you. I was sick of everything that was going on around you. I was sick of having to cover up everything that you did.
When Cassie found the strength to use her voice.
One of his bodyguards, right? Probably had to sign some sort of non-disclosure for years. Probably wasn't the one that we read about as his head security. You know, the one that makes people disappears. And if he was, then okay, he gonna probably be on the stand. But I don't think that was the
others. Liza Gardner claimed Diddy raped her and a friend in 1990. And another woman who refused to be
3 weeks in November and December 2023. Diddy himself finally released a statement saying, and this is quote, "Enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday."
Now, okay, some of the cases are, well, yeah, you could tell. Some of them cases are far reach, okay? A few of them cases, though, man, they're a little way more than spot on, okay? And the messed up part with that is it makes that those cases that are far reach just a little bit more reachable. And that's where the messed up part comes in, all right? So do I personally think someone else is out to get him and they're destroying his name? Yeah, I do think they're trying to destroy his name, snatch the money from him. I do. I feel like there's something else going on. I do think he's done this stuff and that's messed up, as I've always said, right? He should pay for that, but that's not what he's being sued for. That is the things that he's done in these cases is not what he's being sued for. Okay?
Diddy's response to all of these lawsuits has been, they're coming after my money. Everybody's entirely untrue. I mean, everybody connected to him in these lawsuits has made money. Expected payment from him. But because somebody pays your bills doesn't mean that they're entitled to do harm. entitled to exploit you or abuse you or otherwise mistreat you. So yes, people might want money from you, but it doesn't mean you're off the hook.
Writing checks.
A party where he says he was drugged and allegedly raped.
Rodney Lil Rod Jones worked with Diddy for about a year starting in 2022. He claims he recorded hundreds of hours of video and audio of Diddy, his staff, and others engaging in serious illegal activity.
Everybody's just telling me what he's allegedly capable of, and you know, very scary for myself, and you know, has me worried about my kids, and you know, just sleeping with anxiety and different things like that. So just moving forward, just want to pause on everything until we know that it's clear and safe for me to come back outside of work.
Jones claims he has irrefutable evidence depicting, among other things, Diddy's
was repeatedly sexually assaulted by Diddy.
It's usually rare that a male will step forward and
see, he had been working with him for about a year, and I think that this case in particular was one of the biggest cases that blew the door open to everything, because this case in particular was nuts, right? This one went into the inner workings of his whole team, to date times. It had a lot of things in this one case.
It's highlighted everywhere.
I think that Puffy is not man enough to come out and simply say he's bisexual.
Making sure. Lil Rod,
you know, participating in freak offs and things of that nature. When he came forward, it definitely added to the disturbing claims that Diddy was already up against. It's just now, from a male perspective, as someone who worked closely with him on his last album.
What's up, Diddy? I want to, anyone out there watching, this is not about his sexuality. That has been a big focus highlighted everywhere.
And groped and on Colmes' yacht.
his case got more holes than a Jamaican shirt.
You know, participating in freak offs and things of
it looked like she put so much information out into
name and
very serious lawsuit. Sick hook. Groom, and he goes on and on about going to a party where he says he was drugged and allegedly raped.
Rodney Lil Rod Jones worked with Diddy for about a year starting in 2022. He claims he recorded hundreds of hours of video and audio of Diddy, his staff, and others engaging in serious illegal activity.
Everybody's just telling me what he's allegedly capable of, and you know, it's very scary for myself, and you know, has me worried about my kids, and you know, just sleeping with anxiety and different things like that. So just moving forward. Just want to pause on everything.
Deny. It's just now, from a male perspective, as someone who
it's clear. We know that it's clear.
Video and audio of Diddy, his staff, and others engaging in serious illegal activity.
Everybody's just telling me what he's allegedly capable.
Firearms.
It's usually rare that a male will step forward and accuse someone of sexual assault.
Puffy is not man enough to come out.
His case got more holes than a Jamaican shirt.
This is not about his sexuality.
Sexual blackmail, sex call.
Do you want to know what the judicial system cares about? Crimes. They don't care if a man has sex with a man, a woman, or 18 women. Nope. And I believe in the justice system.
Nope. Look, nope. Okay? They don't care about crimes. All right? Especially not at those levels. Let's just be honest. Okay? They care about making money off of people committing them. They don't care about crimes at all.
And the justice system doesn't rate anyone's home over their sexuality.
NBC is learning exclusively that the
that's exactly
producer accusing Diddy of sexual assault and harassment is also accusing. He's saying Gooding groped and fondled him while they were on Colmes' yacht.
His case got holes than a Jamaican shirt. Lil Rod is a fraud, man. You know, he don't got no legs to stand on. This is merely an extortion attempt by him and his lawyer. That's all I can say.
An attorney named Tyrone Blackburn, who is under the microscope of a federal disciplinary committee in New York. A judge who ordered that committee to look into Blackburn's tactics said the lawyer had shown a pattern of filing, and this is a quote, cases in federal court to garner media attention, embarrass defendants with salacious allegations, and pressure defendants to settle quickly. Another big problem, Jones included in the lawsuit a screen grab he claimed was Diddy's producer and close friend Stevie J having sex with another man. But apparently, it wasn't Stevie J.
The photo is itself. You know what I'm saying? This lie's been ongoing for a long time. A guy, LGBT community, a porn star, he raised his hand. He said, "That's my dirty work. That ain't my work."
For you, boy.
That's cool if dudes do that, but that's not my thing. I like to embrace a nice woman that, you know. I wasn't mad. It's just like
Stevie J over here with the bush kadush. Okay? Look, we know Stevie does been messing with girls, but all right. Stevie hitting with the bush kadush.
for the hard work I put in for these 30 years in this industry, this is what I gotta resort to. Watching this, my kids gotta see this, my mom got to see this.
It seemed much more like a tell-all rag book than it did an actual civil lawsuit. When you combine how bizarre the lawsuit looked with his attorney being a little bit sketchy in terms of the kind of cases he takes up, it felt like it could be a bit of revenge combined with legitimate concern.
He also had run-ins with the law.
That the families deal with, and I just pray for the families, and I pray for the children that lost their lives.
Bullets before, and lots of them.
This is not Colmes' first run-in with the law. He was arrested in April for assaulting an executive.
Colmes testified before a grand jury this week.
Colmes was arrested at the university's Acosta Athletic Training Complex for assault.
He also had run-ins with the law, accused of assaulting a photographer.
He's been having controversy since the early 90s, and he's never been convicted of any serious crimes. He's been lots of allegations, lots of accusations.
One of the biggest stars on the planet would be pulled into the fray.
Police say Lopez and Colmes were picked up along with his bodyguard and driver, fleeing a shooting in a Manhattan nightclub that left 3 people injured.
Diddy was dating Jennifer Lopez. One night, he took her out to a New York City nightclub when all hell broke loose.
So essentially, J-Lo and Diddy were out partying with a couple of his friends, their friends, Shine, another rapper, and an altercation ensued, shots were fired.
I feel terrible that people were hurt that night.
Puffy talking.
Wait a minute now. Let's go back and look at these. Okay.
Pray for the children that lost their lives.
Diddy was at the center of a violent incident again and
had a clear point of view. I mean, for God's sake.
Holding a kettlebell of making terrorist threats and 1 count of battery. But the DA wound
not just the
They already showed us
females, it's guys, producers. I seen them spaz.
Curry remembers a particularly nasty incident between Diddy and the mother of 4 of his children, Kim Porter.
You saw him get physical with Kim?
I didn't see him get physical with Kim, but I know situations where, let's say if Kim said she fell on a boat and broke her nose, and I say that's not actually what happened. She went into it, she just got a broke nose. I think her and Puff went to home together, and then next thing you know, she had the Band-Aid on. So you already know what happened. So she didn't, if she slipped and she fell. No, I don't think that.
She couldn't have slipped and fell. I don't think she slipped and fell either, but I'm just saying, you know. I'm just saying.
Just, can you stop? I can't breathe. And he stopped for a little bit. He grabbed my hair from the back and was punching the back of my head. Cause he was just avoiding my face when he was hitting me.
Diddy's attorney calls Wynn's allegations, quote, false and unsubstantiated.
If Puff put his hands on a female, he would do it behind a closed door. And when the door opened, you would be like, wow, somebody has on a bandage.
Did you ever see anything like that where somebody came out of a room looking injured or upset like that?
Yeah. You go in the room, you walk in, you come out, not looking the way
Diddy's legal team tells TMZ Mr. Curry's statements about what he thinks probably occurred between Mr. Colmes and Miss Porter are pure speculation, observations, or knowledge.
Which is the smart thing to say in that instance as a lawyer, okay? Because, well, he just told you that. He never seen it actually happen, but he was outside the room and he would see the Band-Aids. And I'm not saying again, look. I'm not saying again that, it didn't happen. It happened, probably happened, hey, but the lawyer was smart, okay? The lawyer was smart.
He was motivated. He knew what he wanted out of the gate.
We make music strictly for the streets. What? That's all good. Huh?
He knew that he was going to be on top. He has his struggle of an upbringing, and then he comes out and he's this ferocious beast, and he wants to just dominate the industry.
Don't push us, cause we're close to the edge.
Producers in hip hop history, I have the most number ones as a hip hop artist.
Add to that 3 Grammys, and in 2023, the MTV Video Music Awards Global Icon Award.
And nobody deserves to be called an icon more than this man. Diddy, Puff Daddy, love.
All I am is a man with ambition. That's when I failed that you gave me the vision.
But conquering the music world wasn't enough for Diddy. He became a one-man marketing machine.
New collection is great.
And listen, so other than the clothes, you all just saw the Ciroc. He had big problems down the road with his distribution and all his deal things that he had going on with Ciroc. Okay? I'm just throwing it out there because in other videos that you'll catch on the page, you're going to start to get the little stuff I throw down in the concept of it. You see, I feel as though a lot of the stuff we're seeing now comes from his dealings with his alcohol company, the negativity we're seeing now. Okay? He has a lawsuit against them a year ago. All of a sudden, a year later, all of this starts to pop up. I'm just saying, the people he was working with were some of the biggest ones.
Multiple homes, planes,
Black excellence.
yachts, cars, and of course, those legendary parties.
I'll hang out and watch him throw parties. Sure, he famously threw his white party out. He would throw party one.
Yo, so Jamie Foxx. Y'all know something happened with Jamie Foxx after this.
Well, I went to Philly, followed him all the way to Philly. He threw a party, and he said, "Yo, Playboy, this party costs $1.5 million."
They're actually fun parties. A lot of famous people, star-studded. You'd be sometimes amazed by some of the people that you see there.
Some of the people who attended the parties have said that there was a lot of sex during these parties, and that kind of opens the door.
You know. A lot of people said that, and a lot of other people said they didn't see that. That if you weren't there after hours, after a certain time, or if you stayed your ass in certain spots of the house, you would have been better off. All right, that's what a lot of people said. All right, don't
Or to some of the allegations that we've been reading about. What about that?
So there was a lot of sex, but it didn't happen at the party. It was after parties, not necessarily at the party.
Now, what time would your party start, let's say?
9:30.
Really? That early?
Yeah.
I could make that.
Yeah.
But I could think of you of starting a party at like midnight. Like what time will it go till?
That's a different type of party.
Uh-huh.
No, I mean the after party.
No, I know about them.
There have always been whispers and rumbling.
Did you hear that? Okay. Ellen, did you hear her? Yeah, I know about that.
Like what time will it go till?
That's a different type of party, though.
Uh-huh.
No, I mean the after party.
No, I know about them.
And look at her eyes, all right? She on them tapes too, okay? And that's why she said that. And she would have think that he would start them parties later because she knows that she's been to some parties.
There have always been whispers and rumblings about Diddy. The whisperings and rumblings, though, weren't about
He was on her show like 17 times.
criminal activity. They were simply about his party lifestyle, social activities, and maybe even his sexual activities. There's always been whispers and rumors and innuendo, but in Hollywood, it was on a need-to-know basis. Those who knew, and many fans and everyday people, especially before social media, were completely in the dark about what was going on.
Absolutely in the dark about what was going on.
Boss, how's it going, sir?
To tell y'all for years. What were you trying to tell people?
That Diddy was not a safe human and that you should be careful if you're planning on entering any type of relationship with him.
You know, listen, okay? I had to stop it because if you all, most of the people in the industry haven't caught the trend that Diddy isn't a safe person. Everybody on the label's dead. Okay? I'm just saying. Does it make sense? They say you end up around those that you hang around, and everyone that hangs around him is dead or gone. They ain't even Shine went to jail, so he got 2 of them in Black Rob, gone to jail, right? But dead. So, okay, just saying. I mean, unlike Diddy's whole crew, Jeezy's crew, they were all in jail, but Diddy, dead.
From business to personal.
No.
And this was based on your personal. And she was famously fired from the group by Diddy on making the band.
You want to show all your skin. You want to be naked.
We are not happy. You hate me, then why you have me here?
I don't have to have you here. That's one thing that we can make clear. That's one thing we can make clear.
But
I don't have to have you here. I'm trying.
Why do you have me here? Because everybody's just such a problem.
Check this out. You're clear on that. You understand now. I'm asking myself, why do I have you here? I'm gonna tell you right this. I don't like her energy.
Now, okay, I know this was a TV show, okay, but I'm gonna be honest with you. If I had to deal with that type of personality too, she'd have been fired too. I'm just saying, we couldn't have that negativity while trying to make this big.
I don't like her style and direction where she's going with it. I don't like what she does to the brand when she's wilding out there, being overly raunchy, promiscuous. So there's nothing else to talk about. Would you like to go with her? Because she's not going to be on damn camera.
The mistreatment is enough to have changed the course and direction of my entire life. The miss to dive into.
Look, regardless of it, that show did change the direction of her life. So she can look at it like this, or she can look at it like the way she looks at it, but it changed everything for her stuff. All right?
Right now, but thought we were absolutely nothing. And I'm talking from sleep. Always.
What do you want to look like, though?
I'll tell
What
you.
do you want to look
I'll
like?
tell you.
You like big hair, though.
I don't
you
like
do
big hair.
like big hair. You
Stop
like
with
a lot of
generalizations
makeup
about
and
me.
all that.
His narrative of me, promiscuous and toxic interest at hand. When TMZ over
Are now being looked.
TMZ brought Danity King's girl because they knew that she was a nice little smear campaign on there, and that she's been smearing it and throwing that stuff out forever. And I will say, yeah, there's different workplace placements and jobs that you deal with that type of stuff. You do. She was at work. And she was talking back a lot at work too. So, it seemed like She was getting what she gave. They were kind of giving each other both crap. So this Justin Bieber stuff, though, we all know that the Justin Bieber stuff was nuts. All right. If you look at this right here, okay, it even look like Diddy is licking his tongue out at Justin Bieber right now. All right, I'm just saying, y'all catch that. Okay, he going in there for that young. Yeah, and we know Justin Bieber's been traumatized from this stuff.
Looked at in an entirely different way.
Okay,
You know, where we hanging out and what we doing.
A video of Diddy with a then
he was the gatekeeper to the industry. And yeah,
15-year-old Justin Bieber surfaced. It was taken while Bieber was visiting Diddy's home and give a little weird.
He signed to Usher.
I'm signed to.
Looks completely.
There's, partners and what is. You never really got my number, so.
Correct. Okay.
My number?
Raised eyebrows. Usher talking to Howard Stern about what
He's having a good time, you know what I mean?
But Usher later expressed.
listen, Usher was like 15, 16 when he was out there with him too. He was young, a little earlier than that. But Usher was young when he was with Diddy, and they basically sent him up there to be groomed. And they admitted at the time that they wanted him to learn from him and be groomed by him, and that his mother, Usher's mother and parents, okayed this. So they knew what was taking place, and they didn't have a problem with it. So it seems.
Expressed concern about what he was exposed to when he was living with Diddy.
I mean, I'm 13 years old. I'm not here to party with you. I don't want to go to the clubs. Matter of fact, I'm too young to even be in here. Why you got me in clubs? There were a lot of things I seen and a lot of positions that I think I was put in where I had to make very, very tough decisions in my life about who I would be.
Usher and Bieber have not commented on the latest allegations, but other artists have taken Diddy to task. 50 Cent, who's tangled with him for years, tweeted, "It's not Diddy do it, it's Diddy done."
He's corny. He's Uncle Tom. That's who Curtis is. He want to see the black man.
So in my whole thing with that, all right, it kind of slid through it and through it earlier, but they talked about how 50 Cent's baby mama, Daphne Joy, was brought up inside of this Diddy case as one of the girls being paid from Diddy for a long time. Basically, she was getting monthly stipends to be brought places and go do things and be flown out and this and that. Now, if that is the case, right, I too would be pissed, right? Like, I get it. She's making money, but she was at the beck and call of Diddy. And if that was the case, it is the case, then when he said ring, 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 she was flying over there to spread them, okay, for whoever, whatever, however, whenever. And that would make a lot more sense on why 50 doesn't and hasn't liked Diddy. Well, pretty much since his son was created with Daphne Joy, his baby mama.
And go down before anybody else. You know what I'm saying? He's just sore. He's just sore because his baby mother is with Puff. Don't be sore. Don't be a hater. You know what I'm saying? Get greater. So with him, he's just a troll.
Mary J. Blige, a friend of Diddy's for 30 years, posted, "Unfortunately, a lot of you all met me when I lacked boundaries and was a people pleaser. Let me reintroduce myself. I burned bridges as needed," apparently referring to her own experience with Diddy.
There's a lot of talk.
Of the Diddy controversy.
There's a lot of talk about they have taken place.
Just won't come.
in the beginning stages of her career because she was under Diddy, and they even talk about how they would be riding around in the Jetta and hitting the parties at such a young and early age in their life.
Come near it because they don't want to be affected, and that's just the way it is.
There are a lot of people who are probably implicated in his events, in his activities, even if they're criminally guilty. They just might have been at a party. They may just have been hanging out. And if he gets attached to something that is considered awful or outside the boundaries of what you're allowed to do, then no one wants to be connected to him at all.
Is there another reason why other people ain't speaking out in his defense?
I think a lot of people are just trying to understand it.
So, Ray J made sex tapes. Nobody complained.
Understand what is and what's not, you know?
Another reason people aren't coming to Diddy's defense, Diddy was allegedly obsessed with recording everything that went on in his homes.
That's what I mean.
Everything.
If they have 250 cameras they took out his house, they have a whole bunch of images or footage of things that were going on around his house.
Now, just because you have those images and cameras there doesn't necessarily mean that it had anything on them. Okay? So let's not sit here and go, oh yeah, they got something, because that's a rumor that he has 250 cameras to begin with. And just because you have that many cameras, it doesn't mean that they're all recording. And it doesn't mean that your recording source feed is going back to something at the house. You get me?
A lot of people might be running from that tape.
I don't think it's only celebrities going to be shook. He had politicians in there.
Yeah, that's right.
He had princes in there.
Ooh, okay.
He also had a couple of preachers in there.
Diddy is a powerful person. You don't get to be a billionaire without being powerful and without being connected to powerful people. So Diddy knows politicians, entertainers, philanthropists, academics, you name it, he's connected to them. Right. And so if we start unraveling the thread of Diddy's networks, you're going to find a lot of people. And like Jeffrey Epstein, some of them might be implicated.
Do you find it a little hypocritical?
So, like I said, well, I didn't say it on this, but I've said it in the past. There are going to be several people like KK, Christina Corum. They have one of his people that hold the IT footage. Like they're all implicated, right? Everybody like that close, they implicated. Some of the major celebrities and stars, they're not going to want to tarnish their name unless it's time to drag them in the mud. So they probably won't be brought up in this. Let's see what Hard talking about.
That there are a lot of people who are so silent now, who are so quick to canceling others when they're not involved or even remotely associated.
There
is and West Coast rappers.
I gotta say, I am.
No.
I think that.
Look, I know we skimmed through this.
Thing that could help the feds, Cassie Ventura can still be compelled to testify against Diddy in federal court, even.
And I guess if you wanted to look at it and go, okay, that could be the downfall of him, that's what they want us to see, right? What they don't want us to see is the lawsuits that Diddy's put out before he was sued. What they don't want us to see is the fact that he was going on, basically talking about how he wants to build up different neighborhoods and communities and building schools. So I think some of that stuff plays in the fact on the reason why they want to bring him down. Even just looking at this, right? let's get into this real quick. We're going to get out of it shortly. But so, Spirits maker Diego has cut ties with Puffy, right? After a 15-year-long partnership due to recently claimed discrimination lawsuit. That's right. Puffy went on and decided to sue Diego, right? And Diego stepped back to state that you couldn't sue us because, well, you just couldn't sue the company because we have it in your clause that no matter what the problem is, we are going to be able to solve that behind closed doors. And, well, the London-based company, which is huge, okay, huge, right? They make well-known brands like Smirnoff, Johnny Walker. This is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, liquor people in the world. So filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit with Diddy. Now, Diddy accused Diego of failing to market his spirits, which also included Ciroc, in a similar manner with other brands, including Don Julio and George Clooney's Casamigos brand. You see, Diego responded that he has a nearly $1 billion from the partnership. Diego and Colmes, they had a partnership with Ciroc Vodka since 2007. In 2013, Colmes bought De Leon and formed a joint venture with Diego for high-end tequila. Now, Diego said in a lawsuit, Diddy said in a lawsuit that Diego basically kneecapped his sales for nearly a decade because the company considered it to be black brand and marketed only to urban customers, which also claimed that Diego executives told him that Colmes were Martha Stewart then. Told him that if Colmes were Martha Stewart, then his brands would be more widespread. Diego has denied the accusations. So, Diego said that Diddy has repeatedly undermined our partnership and threatened to publicly defame Diego if we did not meet his unreasonable financial demands. The company also said that they've invested more than $100 million to help grow his tequila and accused him of only contributing $1,000. The response, Diddy's attorney John said in a statement that Diego attempted to end its deal with Mr. Colmes is like firing a whistleblower who calls out racism, and that the company's decision is, well, cynical and transparent, attempting to distract from multiple alleged allegations of discrimination. The lawsuit and Mr. Colmes are not going away. No, they're not going away. Attorney told CNN that this is not surprising. Diego wanted to end the agreement with Colmes. Whether a lawsuit gets filed, that just makes stronger allegations of wrongdoing. So yeah, look, they ended up parting ways. And no, Diego didn't want none of that to get out. And shortly after that, well, Cassie came out. So, ring, ring, ring. A few calls were made to make it happen. A few other people were probably told about that in the calls that were made in making those things happen. Listen, we just wanted you to know and you to see. I hope that you enjoyed the episode. You had your popcorn for it. Tell me what you think of the TMZ. The downfall of Diddy. We'll do some more of these, bringing up other shows, clicking through them just to see what they are, what they got in them, whether or not we wouldn't like them, would watch them, would enjoy them. Diddy's obviously, his stuff is being kept up with in the news. Lately, they said that he was off of suicide watch because, it's not like he asked them to be on it anyway, and that he was able to see the family. So, hey, see what goes on and keep telling you all about what goes on. Thank you for tuning into an episode of The Twisted Tea, where we come to bring you the news with a twist.